is engaging in serious religious persecution.
So, we are finding out I just got done watching this video about India, and it just showed up on my automatic autoplay while I was listening to Trump news. These people in India fighting over the idea that India belongs to Hindus. And so all the other religions, including Muslims and Christians, are being punished in severe ways. What really says a lot about anybody that goes up against Christians is when you rape Christian women. Now, they didn't say that they raped, Muslim women. They said that they raped Christian women and made them walk naked. Okay. And many of them were gang raped. Now, you want India to be to the Hindus. You want the Hindus to control India. And to a lot of India people, and to a lot of white people, to a lot of even black people, to a lot of African people, a lot of Muslim people, they might agree with you. But for these thousands, maybe, according to what you're saying, maybe 1 billion people that disagree with you, it wasn't good enough to burn down their churches. One thing I can understand about burning down churches is that, okay, they don't get to worship what you might call a pagan religion. The Christians did that back in the day. They burned down the churches of witches. They burned down they called them high places of witchcraft. They burned down the places where the homosexuals hung out and were practicing prostitution, and where the harlots hung out, and the mediums, all the different mediums and all. They burned these places down. So I understand that. But where do you rape a woman based on your lack of belief in what they believe? So you get a Christian woman who probably dresses the most modest, except for she doesn't dress like a Muslim. Her hair might be showing, okay? But other than that, she dresses very modest, okay? A Christian woman who has traditional values, and I believe one of the reasons why they raped these Indian women is because the Indian women were probably, in their opinion, prettier than the Arab women. And the Arab population in India, or the Indian, the Indian women or India. What am I saying? The Indian women are India. So they had a little bit more anger towards them than, because they are, the tribe. They are the people of India. But instead of killing them, you killed some of them. But many of them, you raped them and made them walk naked and be gang raped in public, on public streets, to make an example out of them. This doesn't end with India. And this is what is coming to America, in less than a decade from now. This is what is coming to America. I don't even think it's going to wait to the next century. It's coming to America. Matter of fact, there have been similar things done to Americans here in the U.S. and there's going, Christian Americans, and there's going to be people fleeing here from other nations, and they already have, for Christian freedom here in America. But the atheists, they want to take that Christian freedom away from us. Okay, now some people want to just debate about it and constantly mock us about it. But others want to take that away from us, and they'll do whatever they need to do to punish us if the government doesn't step in and take away our rights because they say so. And when the government, and we read about this in the Bible, we've done movies about it, we've done documentaries about it. The government, there are people in the government right now that if they are working for the FBI or any other three-letter group that has laws of conduct, that has laws of dealing with whatever they're arresting. 1 second here. 1 second. One second. Police have laws. Okay? Police have laws. Police have laws, and the FBI has laws, and other American enforcement agencies have laws of conduct. There's certain things that you can't do. But when it comes to people's religious freedoms and the way they're handled, okay, people completely become savages. How many people that are supposed to be protecting us, in not only America, but in India, in the Middle East, in Russia, in Ukraine, in these nations that are going to war with each other, how many people are savages that are supposed to protect us? What's going to happen the next time? Now let's get over to America. What's going on in America right now? What's going to happen the next time that they indict a president? What's going to happen the next time? Okay? They go to the president's compound and point guns at him and his staff, and and what would happen if the former president lost everything, if he had no security? What would happen if Donald Trump was to step down from office? Now, from what I understand from a recent YouTube video I watched, that the former presidents all have their own security. The former presidents, all of them don't drive. They ride limousines. They have wall-to-wall security with them everywhere they go for the rest of their life. Whether they were good president, bad presidents, whether they were impeached or whatever. Ever since the crap that happened to J.F. Kennedy, okay, the president, anybody that's ever been in the presidential office will have bodyguards with him and security, armed security with him, that's ready for an all-out war everywhere they go at all times. Donald Trump can't drive a car, okay? He'll never be able to drive a car. If he does drive a car, he would have probably about 10, SUVs behind him and another 10 in front of him, okay? and vice versa, Barack Obama, Bush, Biden, when he steps down, everybody. Them and their families are protected all day long. But what about the people in politics that are not? We remember the journalists that went to, we remember the story about the journalist that went to Egypt and was gang raped by, and to me, women have spaces and women need to learn how to stay out of men's spaces. You go to a place like Egypt where the men are out there protesting and the women are all the way back there. They know not to come over there. But yet you want to be misbrave somebody and speak to these angry people that are all angry and screaming and acting like savages. And that's what I'm going to title this video. Are savages running the world today? Savages running the world today. Are savages running the world today? So, you got two types of savages. You got masculine, guerrilla, barbaric type of savages. While they sit in front of you with a suit and a tie on and say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, bow their head, okay, bow to the flag, you know what I'm saying, put their right hand across their chest, whatever, show you their respect. Knowing that you're giving them a right to have authority over this group of people and their wives and their children, their daughters. To do what you want to do as long as you burn down their church, or as long as you put one of them in prison, or make some arrest. They don't want to know what you did with the rest of them. They don't want to know. And a lot of these people hire savages because they know you savage. And they hire savages to get their jobs done, to get the duties done. Now, the other type of savage, the savage that is a queer looking dude with a sick mind. Somebody was talking about the people that run Facebook. They met them in person. And they're like, oh my God, I feel like quitting Facebook. Facebook, some of the staff on Twitter, a lot of these social experts, all these geniuses graduating from college with these computer degrees. Internet security is ran by who? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. When you meet these people, and then now that we're all into this liberal, we all got to accept everybody and legislate something for everybody. We can't say no to anything in America because it's unholy. It's those words are Christian words. You can't say that. You can't call anything unholy, unrighteous. Those are biblical words. God does not exist. That stuff that's in the Bible does not exist. It was all a white man's way of controlling the world, according to a lot of y'all. Who's controlling the world by raping women? Who's controlling the world by making a religious woman walk naked in the street to go to her execution, which is a gang rape? Okay? And I want to go to Hold on a minute. I want to go to, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that either. I want to go back here. Come on, go back. I don't know why I can't just backspace. But I want to... here it is. That's what I want. That's what I want right there. Come on, man. There you go. I want to... all right. Yes. I wanted to get to my man Valentino talking about yesterday's Trump arrest. Jared Green explained to me exactly what happened that Valentino didn't within just a few minutes. Trump did not really get put in jail. He got arrested. I don't understand the system. Wake me up. I don't understand. He got arrested just to get his mugshot taken. And Jericho Green explained that that mugshot is very valuable to the Democrats because it's going to keep him from opportunities for the rest of his life that are political. I don't know. I do believe that he can sue, he can punish a powerful man like Donald Trump. He can get revenge on everybody for that mugshot. He can clear his name once everything is over with. He can clear his name. And I believe he already has. Matter of fact, after they got the mugshot, according to Jericho Green, they were like, well, Mr. Trump, all the charges against you have been dropped. We have nothing on you. We have nothing for you. You're free to go. We apologize for the inconveniences. Huh? All charges dropped as long as he gives a mugshot. But if he's not responsible for a crime, why do he need to plead guilty for a crime he didn't commit? And why did he need to get his mugshot taken for a crime he didn't commit? I don't understand. Now, you got these young savages today that aren't men, but they're horny little bastards. Whether they lay down with a homo or whether they go get a straight man to treat them like a woman and swing them all over the bedroom like a woman, they're going to find a way to get off. But either way, they're savages. They're savages because they get turned on by the idea that a Christian female would be set on fire. Better yet, raped before they set her on fire. Christians losing their churches. People like Trump going to prison and being ran through the ringer, okay, because you have personal feelings about what I believe versus what you believe. And it's not like we've spent years surviving together regardless of the fact that we disagree on many, many things. The disagreements that we had years ago are the same disagreements we have now. The same disagreements we have now are the same disagreements that we had years ago. Nobody, except that now you done went from gay to queer. You went from queer to gay to bisexual. Now, there are always trans people. There were trans people when I was a kid. They probably didn't look as much. They probably upgraded the ability to perform, this feminine surgery over the years. They probably made new advances in the technology and the medical ability, the scientific abilities to make women, or men, I should say, trans. And I'm mainly talking about trans women, which are men, okay? They've recently really, really, really found ways over the years to really, really fool us with the whole trans thing. And so you got these trans women, which are men, and them yelling in the middle of a grocery store because somebody didn't protect their pronouns or didn't respect their pronouns or called them a he when he's a she, okay, or whatever. That has nowhere near the amount of abuse that they feel from their own doctor, the amount of loneliness and hatred for themselves that they feel because they made this decision. They become savages in their thinking, savages willing to mutilate themselves and mutilate our children, as well as mutilate anybody that disagrees with them. They're savages. We can disagree. We've been doing it for years. We can disagree without war. We've been doing it for years. Sure, we added a few things, to disagree about, and people are becoming savages. How did we jump from homosexuality to pedophilia, which is about to be justified in some places and legalized? How do we jump from simple homosexuality to men invading women's spaces and trying to push the women out of the way, like her husband is going to fall for you just because you push her out of the way? That's how you're sick. Pushing women out of the way is not going to make you find love, sir. Pushing women out of the way is not going to... If you push enough women out of the way, there's not going to be any women's sports. If you push enough women out of the way, there's not going to be any babies. If you push enough women out of the way, there's going to be a civil war, and there's going to be, how did, I forget, how Kanye West said it about the Jews. But there's going to be war on the trans world. They're going to be Sundown City on trans people in 50 states, in 1 billion cities. Not that I know how many cities total there are, when you include cities, small towns, and all like that, how many there are in 50 states. But I'm just saying. It's going to be war. And what you don't want is us to fight back like you fight back. We already seen that thing that happened. I think it was in Buffalo. Oh, no. That was, I forget where it was. You remember the boat thing, where the black guy and the white guy got into it, and his white buddy jumped in all black America come out of nowhere and jumped in. Okay, it's going to get like that pretty soon, to where like in that video, they were beating up on women that were trying to pull their husbands off the ground. They were beating these women up and kicking them in the face. One woman got thrown into the water after she got slapped around. He threw her in that water. She could have been unconscious. when he threw her in there. But a lot of you people that are hating on Christians, and you're saying that you're hating on Christians and you're hating on D. Roy Cruz because D. Roy Cruz has a pathetic channel. He's an illegitimate YouTuber like Donald Trump is an illegitimate president. So what? That gives you a right to be a savage? I remember the young girl that went to YouTube and she was preaching the gospel on YouTube. And I went to her channel 3 times. And I read the new comments when she kept coming back. She came back. Well, I read the comments. I seen different comments. And the 3rd time, there was an insinuation that she was coming back. And I went to her channel again. Somebody had actually put her channel on his channel. And this girl had gotten to the point where she was silent. She didn't want to argue with gay people anymore. She didn't want to argue with liberals anymore. So she got quiet and she wrote out these postcards. And she had you read these postcards as to what she wanted to say. And all it was about her apologizing if she offended anyone. And she's just trying to be a minister of the Lord. And she loves you with Jesus' love and blah, 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 blah. And there was a guy in the comments section who said, "Oh, how I'd love to rape her." An atheist in the comments section that said, "Oh, how I want to rape her so bad." Savages. This is a boy that's going to get off the internet and go to the other computer across the room and make his money from home and watch all the atheist debates and try to talk rationally and sophisticated about everything that he feels against Christians. And he feels that because he's an atheist and there is no God, and he believes that with all his heart, he feels that raping a Christian woman is nothing. It means nothing. It's just fun and games. I'm just trying to get in this Christian woman's thick skull that there is no God. Because if there was a God, he wouldn't have let me have it my way with her. If there was a God, those Hindu army men wouldn't have been able to rape all those Indian women and make them walk naked in the street. Savages. Who are these savages that insist on hating on Donald Trump, number one, and they ain't watched a single rally. They don't watch nothing but CNN, and they only watch it once a day, once a week, They don't even watch the news. I remember one day I was outside waiting on a bus and me and some dude started talking. And some young dude walked up in between us and said, "You're a Trump supporter?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And he was like, "Dude, that's stupid." And all he could say is, "What did you hear? What did you hear? But they said. And everything I would say is like, "No, but they said." And everything I would say is like, "No, but see, dude, they're not the only one that said it. They said, he said, she said." And I showed him where stories did not add up. They're saying one thing on this channel and one thing on this channel. "Well, I didn't see that. I'm just saying, dog. This white man orange, he's a racist." And the white guy that was standing there talking to me, he just shook his head like, he looked at me and said, "Am I a racist?" After all Donald Trump has done for the what do you call that thing? The black community. I don't believe in the black community. I believe it's just a bunch of people that don't know how to move their dumb behinds out of ghettos. But he said, "Am I racist?" After all Donald Trump has done for the black community, how is he racist? Is he racist because he's on TV instead of here with you? Well, how is he a racist? And the dude just got smart and started cussing and nigger this, nigger that, and blah, 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 and walked off. You know. And the funny thing was, the white dude did not agree with all of Trump's policies. That's where we were arguing. Like, I'm 100% Trump. Like, Trump spoke my mind. That's why I wanted to make sure he won when he won the first time, because he spoke my mind. Like when Barack was in office, and I'm watching the news every day, and they're yelling. And this is the other thing that's a hypocrite. When Barack Obama was in office, they yelled and screamed. All the Democrats, black folks as well as white folks, was getting mad at Barack about gas prices, getting mad at Barack about crime and protesting going all over the nation. All this stuff of like coming to our inner cities and just tearing them down. That all started on Barack's watch. Here's a black man in office, and every time he disagreed with something or agreed with something, a riot would happen. The same riots that are happening now because some black man got shot. And all Barack could say was, "Well, it's a tragedy. What has happened? We're going to do the best in our power to see what we can establish by reforming the police and blah, 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 blah. And we're going to try to come to amends about this." I think I do a good Barack Obama, okay? I wish I could do a good Trump. I know I can do a good Joe Biden, I know that. But anyway, here's the deal. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He didn't say it like that. He said, "Oh, here's the deal." Finger shaking. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Wrong. If you don't vote for Donald Trump, you ain't black, okay? And I am pro-black. There's a difference between black folks and the N-word. And when you don't care about nothing, but you ready to have a riot about anything, when you don't care about nothing, but you're ready to have a riot about any old reason, jump off of something reason to have a riot. Not only are you a savage, you're also an idiot. And we don't want your black behind in the Republican Party. Stay over there with the Democrats. Because being a Republican, being a conservative, is all about you coming to the light and realizing, it's very Christian actually. It's all about you coming to the light and realizing that you were wrong. This is why we have so many, and this is why the devil hates the Republican Party right now when you got people like Donald Trump in it, because Because before Trump, the Republican Party was just a flip of the Democratic Party. Well, we ain't got to be that gay. Well, we ain't got to let that many people come across the border. We ain't got to have that many illegals in the country. Well, we ain't got to let that much violence be going on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of violence is okay. A few people coming across the border illegally is okay. But come on now, make me look good. I'm a Republican. Don't act like I ain't in here doing my job. Donald Trump walked in there and said, I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. I'm so good at this, I'm going to tell you how to do yours. And if you don't know how to be a Democrat, I'm going to have to teach you that too. But we have fallen really bad. We've really fallen and hit our head in America. We've fallen and hit our head, and we woke up with half a brain. Some of us woke up with a hole there where there was a brain that used to be there. We didn't jump from, oh, we have to be nice to gay people and stop abusing gay people. Okay, I'm down with that. All the way to, we're going to invite the drag queens to come over to the school and explain to your kid what gay sex is all about. At what age? At what age? The kid can't even get himself dressed for school in the morning without mom's help. Mom got to put his book bag on him and pack him a lunch and everything and show him how to get on the bus without getting into trouble, without getting hit by a car. And you're going to teach him how to be gay? You're going to ask him, does he identify as a male or a female? Savages. America is becoming a nation of savages. This whole Donald Trump thing. People should be going to the judge with an initial, complete, solid file of evidence against this man and begging the judge, Judge, help us out. Out of everything we've studied, you don't want this man in office. He's an illegitimate president. If they had got all their facts together over time and let everything just be one case against Trump, they might have won. He might actually be in prison instead of going in there and getting his mug shot and then walking off. But this is what you don't understand, and I'm closing. There are rules and regulations of the White House that Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Biden, and Pence, and all the vice presidents, and all the people of Congress, and all the people that have office in White House. There are secrets to the White House that they cannot tell you. That is why before Donald Trump became president, he was in photos smiling and having a glass of wine with Hillary and Barack Obama and the Bidens and all these people, because the policies of the White House did not really affect him. They're little secrets that stay in Vegas. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, and what goes on in the White House stays in the White House. Same thing. Only more, in a criminal fashion and more in a law-abiding fashion. There are things about the White House and the way the White House is ran that nobody is allowed to tell you, and which explains how they were able to indict Trump on anything. You can't indict people on nonsense in the real world. Okay? There's a lot of people that would like to indict me. Good luck with that. Okay? Good luck with that. But if you could, you would. If it made sense, you would. If you had the money, you would. And if I had the power and the money, wherever I tread my foot, anybody that starts acting like a clown, anybody that starts acting like a thug, you out of here. My goal is to get you out of my city, out of my town. I don't care if it's a majority, if the majority of y'all is black. When you do violence, the more people like you that do violence and crime need to be either taken off our streets and locked up for a long time, or you need to be eliminated. That's how we were back in the day before all y'all became gay savages. People were kicking people out of their towns. The police and the governor and the mayor and everybody was in on it. Get out! Somebody in my old home part of town that I just left before I moved here to Pittsburgh told me about a criminal that we all knew that kept beating up on his girlfriend, okay, and kept on getting caught holding a gun and hanging out with people that sell drugs. He would always make sure they didn't find the drugs on him, but they did find the guns on him. His girlfriend told me. They told him they don't want him in Tarentum. The cops had the authority of the mayor to tell this man to pack his bags and get out. So whenever he comes back to this area, he's not allowed in Tarentum. Because he's a savage. That's dangerous. He beats up on every woman he hooks up with. He cheats on every woman he hooks up with. He's harboring drugs, illegal guns, trying to, he's much older, so he's trying to control the gangs for his own glory. He's helping those that are selling drugs, those that are shooting people, and they're going to jail while they go to jail and don't want to snitch on him. So they said, get out of this town, be somebody else's problem. That way they ain't got to snitch on you, because you ain't here. You ain't our problem. Get out. And the mayor and all the leaders of the city knew this cat. We want him out of here. They made him pack his bags and get ghosts. And every time I see him, I know that if I got any problems with him, call a Tarentum police officer. It'll be a worldwide manhunt. You can't do that today, though. I mean, that was just a few years ago. That was about 10, 15 years ago. You can't do that in most cities today. Maybe where Jason Aldean lives, try that in a small town. You might be able to do that in his small town. Kick people out. Go to the police department and get a warrant to kick people out. Go to the mayor. Go to the judge and get a warrant to kick this man out of your neighborhood. Oh, you can do that in Jason Aldean's neighborhood. That's how he wrote the song. There is no place for savages. There's no places for savages in the White House. There's no places for savages in the atheist community. There's no places for savages around our children. There's no place for savages in between you and your wife. There's no place for savages, okay, in our law enforcement. There's no place for savages in the FBI and the CIA and you know, there's no place for savages in any religion. There's no place for savages anywhere where thousands of people are going to be affected, whether it be a religion or whether it be law enforcement or whether it be the White House or whether it be a bunch of black folks rioting in Chicago. There's no place in this country for savages. I don't care how much you don't like a certain president. I don't care how much you felt that, oh, you can say whatever you want to say about him, but when he gives you a taste of your own medicine. See, I grew up like that, me being short and everything. People would try to put me down with words and talk about how short I was. And I told this one dude, I mean, he was black and crispy. I told this one dude, he's real tall. He looked like the Nightmare of Africa. I said, well, why are you so black and crispy? You want me to be black and crispy like you? I'd rather stay short. He got so mad, he followed me to the bathroom after class. They said, everybody was whispering, oh, he gonna get his butt kicked. Should we jump in and help him? Should we jump in and help him? No, we might get our butt kicked. Nobody ever seen this guy fight. He walked in and he tried to act like, you know, he walked in and there was other kids in there, you know, and they got scared and walked out of the bathroom because they knew something was about to jump off. So he had me cornered in the bathroom. And he acted like he dared me to walk away. So when I went to walk away and I sing, because the mirrors were behind me. When I went to walk away and I sing that he wasn't going to stop me, then I started talking my end of the crap. And I let him know, I'm going to say it again, Mr. Black and Crispy. You walked into that joke because you keep effing with me. Leave me the F alone and I'll leave you the F alone. How about that? And he shoved me. And when I shoved him like my life depended on it. And he went into the mirror and I broke the mirror with his back. He didn't get any cuts or bruises on him. But I shoved him into the mirror. And, you know, he was like, oh, he kind of panicked there because he knew I broke the glass with his back. I was, you know, and if he had swung at me, it would have been on. It would have been death to the Black Crispy people, death to Africans from the Congo, you know. I'll light him up there. But I walked out of there and somebody went and said, you know, glass cleanup in the men's bathroom on the second level, you know, and I was like, I went to the principal's office. Now, I told somebody that I broke the glass because me and Julius got into a fight. And he came to me because he knew I broke the glass. And he acted like I tried to get away with it. Dude, I told her that I broke the glass. I ain't trying to get away with squat. You know, but he stopped me. He said, you think you're smart, ain't you? Yeah, actually I am smart. But that ain't why the glass is broken. The glass is broken because I was about ready to kill him. Okay? But I got suspended for that. They didn't even bother to tell my mama, or my family about it. I think at that time, no, at that time I was living with my aunt. And they knew they couldn't get in touch with my aunt. So they called one time, left a message on the answer machine. We need to talk to you about D-Roy. They didn't say what I did. They just said, we need to talk to you about D-Roy. We're sending D-Roy home on a suspension. My aunt never got the message because I live with my cousin Tree. And the phone call came to my grandmother's house. My grandmother was dead. And my cousin Tree came to me to question me about what happened. And she knew that if I fought back, that's all that matters. Don't get your butt kicked and then get suspended for it. But if somebody put their hands on you and you whoop their behind and you get suspended, justice has been served. But I ain't no goddamn savage. I defended those that I was afraid that were going to hurt me if I didn't fight back. You corner me in the bathroom and you make sure there ain't no witnesses, I'm going to turn into a pit bull real fast. Maybe a little pit bull, but I'm going to turn into a pit bull. Not no French pit bull. A pit bull, okay? Real fast, okay? And I've done a number of times in my life, in my childhood. I turned into a pit bull real fast, okay? And that's how I got the nickname Pit Bull from some of my cousins and some of the guys that I went to school with, because, I'll let you talk trash to me and threaten me. But you hurt me. I see blood. I'm going to get me. I'm going to get some blood. I'm going to become a vampire and get me some blood. Okay? But these savages are all over America. They're in the White House. They're the lobbyists that are going in and out of the White House. And I want to say this in closing. Again, I said this in the last video and I cut that video because I felt it was too long. This video is already too long. But let me say this in closing. Trump, and let me change videos for a second. In closing, again, there are policies in the White House that they're attacking Trump for because Trump dared to go around those policies within his legal right. Now, if you know the Constitution, we don't get a copy of the laws of the White House. We don't get a copy of the laws of the presidency. You may be able to look this up online, or you might be able to go to some kind of presidential office and pay a sum of money for a document that lets you know what the rules of the president are. But nobody, just like Skull and Bones, okay, nobody, people have talked about Skull and Bones and wound up missing. People have talked about the Illuminati, the old Illuminati. Now this what they're calling the Illuminati today is not really the Illuminati. Is more like Freemasonry at its worst, okay? Just being dumb and stupid and idiotic, okay? But the original Illuminati, you exposed them earlier around the time of Mike Warnke, and so now they let you run with that name, and they went underground and they call themselves something else now between themselves. It's no longer the Illuminati because too many people went to talking about it and they messed it all up for them. So now they had to go underground and call themselves something else. But one thing they still are is a secret society. one thing that they still are is people that are trying to control all religion in America. They're trying to control all the money and all the religion in America. And they're trying to control the music scenes and the movie scene. And, you know, none of these people are Jews. They're white people. And they're mixed races of people. And maybe even some black. But none of them are Jews. There's no Zionists in the old Illuminati. You hating on Jews, but Jews don't really run things as much as these others. That they gave themselves a new name now, because when they were first called the Illuminati, nobody knew what Illuminati was. I went around saying, hey, I read Mike Warnke's book, The Satan Seller. He talking about the Illuminati. What's the Illuminati? Now you got Cat Williams, people like Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle, always talking about the Illuminati. That's not the Illuminati, bro. Those are Freemasonists trying to control, but yet the Illuminati, what's really the Illuminati, is controlling them. Masonry is running a lot of things in the world, but the Illuminati runs Freemasonry. Okay? And there is Freemasonry in the White House. And there are lobbyists that are Illuminati, or the old Illuminati, posted in the White House. And there are policies of the White House. Some are new. Some are against the Constitution. That's why Barack Obama was insinuating that maybe we need to change the Constitution. Why? Because some of the new policies that they pulled out of their butt and put in the White House don't agree with the Constitution. There's no gayism in the Constitution. There's no gay marriage in the Constitution. There's no reason to legislate this garbage in the Constitution. But Donald Trump went into the White House, and when he was taking pictures with Hillary and the Clintons and the Bidens and all like that, and they're drinking the wine glasses and cheering and all like that, and even some of them, when he first went in there, they were like, good luck, President Trump, we hope you do well. But when he got in there and he said, what is this? Did you make these policies for me, or have these been the policies since the first president? Are these the policies for the last Republican? Are these the policies for the last Democrat? Donald Trump came into office, number one, at a time when we are dumbing down America, okay, to ghetto munchies. We are. We're dumbing down America. America is losing its visage. It's losing its vigor. It's losing its beauty on Trump's watch. And Trump said, oh no, it's not, baby. Today ain't your day, devil. The next 4 years ain't your 4 years, devil. It's mine. And Trump went against the policies, whether they were new or whether they were policies that he's allowed as a Republican to go around them, like I said before in a number of other videos. He is allowed to stretch it out as a president. Because, you know, he has the answer to people. Oh my God, y'all so stupid. He has the answer to people when he walks into that White House. He has the answer to people. And he has to say, this is my plan. Whether they be Democratic or Republican, it don't matter. He has the answer to people that are authorities and protectors around the president. And they had the position to say then, no, Trump, you can't do that. And if they did do that and Trump said why, they better have a darn good legal, presidential, historical, law-abiding reason why he can't. Or he's going to walk right over them and make them his enemy. And I think that's partly what happened. I also think, again, that he can stretch it out. And there are certain things that he's allowed to do. No other Republican did it. Now, they're not going to tell you what these things are. One of them things is the New World Order. You've never seen Donald Trump. You know, they'll say, oh, well, you know, he got on TV. I don't know who it was, but he got on TV and said he never agreed with New World Order thing. That he never agreed with that, okay? He got on TV and said he never agreed with a whole New World Order thing. But he didn't tell you exactly what are the deeds and the policies of the New World Order that he does not have to follow. And this is the thing. They want him to follow certain Democratic policies even if he's the Republican president. And he said no. Where Bush said yes. Where other Republican presidents before Bush said yes. We'll follow these policies as long as we're allowed to do this. Because come on, man, you got to let me look like a Republican. I'm here for the Republican Party. At least let me keep the vote. Don't make the people hate me and impeach me in my first year in office. They said, all right. But we thank you. Thank God that you want to. I'm glad we got that cleared up, Mr. Bush. Thank you that you didn't do this and do that. And I remember Bush being on Larry King, and he had to answer to Larry King why he didn't do certain things, because it was his right to do that as the Republican president at that time. Larry King didn't have that discussion with Donald Trump. It was much different. Hannity and Tucker didn't have that conversation with Donald Trump. It was much different. And it kind of went like Donald Trump is talking and Hannity's like, Donald Trump is talking and Tucker's like, because they understood that he did, oh hallelujah, he did what many Republicans have never done in the whole history of the presidency. That stand up to the left. And all these names, leftists, liberalists, those names didn't even come out till Donald Trump. They were just Democrats. Now we got Democrats, we got Democrat left, we got the Democrat ideology, and we got liberals. We got the liberal Democrats. These terms didn't even come out till Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump exposed, within his limits of being the Republican president, within his limits of being the Republican president, within his limits of being the Republican president, he exposed what they are trying to do without really exposing what they're really trying to do. Y'all ain't getting this. He's not allowed to tell you. No matter how much he gets on Twitter and tweaks, no matter how much he is against them, he is not allowed to tell. It's written in gold. He's not allowed to tell you what they're really trying to do. He's only allowed to go against them and let you figure it out if you can and you can't. So you're sitting here on the streets of Pittsburgh talking trash, talking about how racist he is because you heard that on the news. They're not even fighting about racism. You're fighting about racism. They're not. They're all white. They're fighting about foreign policy that they want Trump to invest in. Like Biden just invested all that money in the Ukraine. Like Biden is investing all this money and he's clearing out hotels here in America to let people come across the border and live here illegally. Trump said, I don't want none of them coming over here illegally. Not one soul. If they're really, really good people, they won't mind coming over here legally. We can help them out and cut them a break at getting in here. But if you got to climb the wall to get over here, if you got to fight with border security to get over here, you're already a thug. I don't care how good your work ethics are. You have no idea what's going on. Neither do I. All I know is that Trump is fighting it. All that money that was being wasted, that was keeping us from getting jobs, that was keeping there being jobs available because the money that should have been given from our government and to our state to these companies for the good work that they've done to our country, like coal mining, for example. Okay, it's okay if you want the Green Deal and you want to go green. That's not a reason to make people go to war against each other. That's not a reason to try to put a Republican in jail. You disagree and you make plans that when it's your turn, when it's the Democrats' turn to be in the president's seat again, this is what they're going to do. You don't sit there and try to take somebody that's already in a position of power because it's his turn to be in power and try to take him out of his seat. When there's no bloodshed, when there's no criminal activity. They're calling Donald Trump giving people a piece of his mind criminal activity. They're calling Donald Trump trying to get along with Russia and Korea and other ones, foreign relations. They're calling that criminal when all the presidents are supposed to do that. Barack had his relationship with Kim Jong-un. Biden has his. Trump had his. Same thing with Putin. And then you're dumb enough to sit there, and they keep on getting on TV and saying it. There is no possible way that a foreign nation can tamper with the election going on in the United States. What are they going to do? Come over here and say, hey, my name is Putin. I'd like to vote. I have all the votes for all the people in Russia right here in this box. There's like 70,000. They want to vote for Trump. Put this in the ballots and count them on Trump's side. And you know good and well that's not what happened. That would be a joke. That would be a nice joke. But that's not what goes on. And there was no way that Putin agreeing, like they asked Putin, he said, yeah, I think Trump's a good president. For once you have a really good Republican, in my opinion, that might get his job done. Same thing with Kim Jong-un. Me and Trump have our disagreements, but I think I can agree with Trump as long as et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and et cetera. And Trump shortening it and said, no, it's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kim. And Kim said, okay. Because he don't want to get hit with a nuke first. Okay. But Trump did nothing wrong except go against the agenda. You don't seem to understand that this is bigger than Donald Trump. Joe Biden is a puppet that was put in office for an agenda that they, not the people that would be president, but the people in the White House and outside the White House that are sitting behind those computers lobbying everything that's going on in the White House. These people, you don't get to see them. You don't know them. All you know is that they're there or they might be there. They're not allowed to tell you who they are and what they do. The White House is not controlled by the people in it. The White House is controlled by the brains outside the White House that are filthy rich and have the biggest say-so in politics before they go back to hiding. And these people have the say-so in politics regardless of whether you're a Republican president or whether you are a Democratic president. I saw a video where they went to one of them. He wasn't allowed to mention his name. He wasn't allowed to mention his location. He was only allowed to talk about what he thinks is going on. And as you can see, he was not supportive of Donald Trump. But he did understand the law and what they're capable of doing to Donald Trump and what they're incapable of doing it. And he thought it was funny where they're telling you that they can do all these things and get away with it and that Donald Trump committed all these crimes when he knows he's not telling them that. And he would know better than anybody else. Because if Trump is communicating with Putin, it'll hit his computer before it hits the one in the White House. If Trump is trying to blow us up with a Kim Jong-un missile, it'll go to his computer before it goes to the one in the White House. Yins are so dumb. Hating on this man when he has no control over what's going on except he has his own personal protest against some of it because he knows, as he calls it, it's liberal, it's ungodly, it's unsafe, it's non-American, it's non-presidential. It's an agenda. No other Democratic president has pulled this off since Barack Obama endorsed gay marriage. But this new stuff that's even worse than that, no other president, Democratic or Republican, has been able to endorse this or push this agenda. But now they wanted Donald Trump not to get in office in the first place because they wanted to push the agenda. And then while he got in office, they tried to push the agenda while he was in there, which they could have did that with Bush if they wanted to. And Bush probably would have went along with it. But Donald Trump says, no, save the agenda for when you have the office. I got the office. Let me be a Republican president. I'm going to be a Republican president Or, just like they just did yesterday, you will have to arrest me and put me behind bars because I'm not going to go with the agenda. It's non-human, it's non-presidential. It's none of the former presidents agreed with it. Okay? So, this is what's going on that you don't know about. And Donald Trump's not allowed to tell you everything that he disagrees with. He's not allowed to tell you. But they're allowed to arrest him and indict him and get his mugshot. Okay? They're allowed to do all that without telling you either. But between them and Trump, they know what's going on. And Trump will never tell you everything that's going on. He'll just let you believe the same old lies that he's a racist, orange man bad. And he wants to hate on everybody that ain't the Proud Boys, everybody that ain't KKK. He just wants to hate on everybody. Keep believing that nonsense if you want to. You are an idiot. And your stupid Democratic Party is not even a party anymore. You can go to some of these videos and look at Democrats that are saying, Democrats that were Democrats around the time of J.F. Kennedy, and Democrats that were Democrats around the time of Jimmy Carter. And hear what they had to say. They're like, what is going on? This is not the White House. And those Democrats are staying out of it. Some of them have become Trumpsters. The ones that are still living, the ones that are still alive. They've become Trumpsters. Because they know that this is not America. This is not the White House. What happened to the days when gays were doing their thing over there and the rest of us were doing our thing over here, and then the Christians were doing their thing over there? What happened to the days when, look out, the Democrats are going to come up with some goofy crap. Wait till you hear this. But now, today, it's, the Democrats are here. Somebody's about to get arrested. Somebody's about to go to jail. Somebody's about to get canceled because they don't agree with something, because they spoke their mind like everybody has a right to free speech. They had free speech and they got arrested for it. They lost their business. Billions of dollars. They lost $1 billion business because they opened their mouth and said something about they don't agree with pronouns. Pronouns are not for people's names, they're for other things. Put them back where they belong. The rainbow doesn't belong to the LGBTQ community. The day belongs to the day when God promised Noah that he would never send a flood on the earth to destroy all humanity like he did that one time. That was only one flood for that one time. But now it belongs to the LGBTQ community. I appreciate you letting me know what kind of nonsense I'm walking into before I walk into it. Thank you for the LGBTQ flag. Because just recently, I took a drive out of town, and when you're in Clarksburg, Pennsylvania, there's big signs out. They're like the size of billboards on these rich people's property. This says Trump. You know, it's really loud. Big, loud Trump sign, okay? But then you go down a few miles down the road, you see the flag. The colorful little flag. And you're like, watch out for this nonsense. Better drive straight. No tailgating. And you better make sure that you drive fast enough so that they don't have to tailgate on you. Because they will ride your bumper like they're getting some kind of sensation out of it. And then get mad at you because you stopped to make a right hand or left hand turn. in these neighborhoods where this flag is represented. Even driving is gay. I'm out here, D. Roy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. Thank you for watching. And I will talk to you soon with more. God bless. I guess I didn't do it.